Today we're getting into one of my favorite times of the year, and that's fall in Columbus. We're going to talk about the weather, the best fall activities, local events, and what makes this season so special, whether you're looking to live here or you already do. Hey everyone, it's Erin Moore with the Moore Home Team at Key Realty here in Columbus, Ohio. We help people just like you move to and around Columbus every day. And a lot of our clients ask us about the weather in Columbus and what it's like living here in the fall. So let's get into it. First, let's talk about the Columbus weather in the fall. Now, when fall starts in September, it's usually still pretty nice here. They'll say on average, it's around like 60s and 70s in the early fall, and then it progresses to 50s and 40s as you get further into the fall and closer to winter time. But usually in September when fall starts, it's still pretty warm here, and it was really warm here. And I mean, not just 60s and 70s, you'll get 80s and 90s quite often here in September. Now, it was still warm throughout October, and then it got a little crazy at the beginning of November because we saw it dip down to even the 30s and the 20s overnight, and we saw a little bit of snow. So you never know what you're going to get, but then it did go back up into the 50s and 60s. But John and I are always kind of surprised. In October, we'll say to each other, I can't believe we're still wearing shorts. But then I look back at Facebook memories and I see us consistently wearing shorts in the past in October. So I don't know why we're surprised. We just expect it to be cold here already, but it's not. It's actually pretty comfortable. Now, of course, it can vary from year to year, but that's what we've been seeing on average here. And then, of course, things get different as you go into like the time change part of the fall. It gets a little bit cooler. Now, we always tell people when it comes to what to wear, again, earlier in the fall, you can get away with shorts and t-shirts and that kind of stuff. But then as it progresses, you might want to think about layers because the mornings can be a little bit chilly, but then it gets warm in the afternoons. So a lot of times you want something to be able to take off, as it gets warmer. Now, I really enjoy in the fall, especially as it gets later and the leaves change, enjoying our metro parks, getting out, taking a walk, looking at the leaves, or even our township parks. And I love to take the dog out. She really enjoys, of course, going for a walk. And then as a bonus tip, I do recommend if you can get to Hocking Hills, which is south of Columbus. It is so pretty down there. I always say it just doesn't feel like you should be in Ohio. It's so beautiful when the leaves change color. You can go hiking. They have so many different trails. And again, our dog just loves it. So overall in the fall, I love it. I love that it's still warm as you progress in the fall and as you do all these activities. And it's really enjoyable to me. Next, let's get into fall fun and local activities. There's truly no shortage of fall fun activities to do in the Columbus area. One thing I just did was I went to the Franklin Park Conservatory. I took some out-of-town visitors there and they absolutely loved it. They had all these pumpkin displays in addition to what's normally there, and it was just really neat to see. And then we even stopped by the East Market to have lunch there. It's a food hall. It has so much variety to choose from. And when it comes to different activities, we have a bunch of different festivals that happen to take place in the fall. One that John and I just went to was the Columbus Italian Festival. They had live music, of course, all kinds of food and activities, and it was a great time. And it was actually really warm the day that we went and enjoyed that. Now, one thing that people like to do is drive down to Circleville for the Circleville Pumpkin Festival. That's been going on forever, and they have all different kinds of pumpkin flavored food. So if that's your thing, you can always decide to make the trip down there on the weekend that's on. If you like to stay in the city, there are plenty of things to do that would be fun, like grab a pumpkin spice latte at one of the many coffee places around town. You could go to German Village and walk around there, or the Short North is really great in the fall for things to do. But again, you'll find no shortage of activities here in the fall. Now, when it comes to fall fun, we can't forget about our sports here in Columbus and the game day energy that we feel, especially on Saturdays. I feel like there's just a little extra buzz in Columbus in the fall because of Ohio State football. All of the tailgating that happens, catching a game in the Horseshoe, it's so much fun. We love to at least go down and be able to do that for one game each season. And they're not the only ones that have games in the fall. You can catch the Columbus Blue Jackets, which their hockey season starts in the fall. I actually just went to one of the games, and I always have a great time at the Blue Jackets games. I don't know what it is. It's the atmosphere. I love going to the hockey games and being able to take them in. Now, you can also see the Columbus Crew soccer team. They have games that still take place in the fall. And also late season, if you're thinking about early fall, we have like the late season Columbus Clippers baseball games that you can catch as well. So there's plenty of fall things to do when it comes to sports. So if you love sports, fall in Columbus is your season. Lastly, let's talk about local lifestyle and community. Now, one of the reasons I love living here in Columbus is how connected and community-focused Columbus feels, especially in the fall time of the year. One thing that we have is a lot of farmers markets. A lot of people enjoy going out to those, myself included. Now, Dublin stands out for their farmers market. Also, Worthington tends to be a little bit larger, but it really doesn't matter what part of the city or what suburb you live in. Pretty much every community has a farmers market. And I actually just heard that Hilliard area is going to move theirs indoors because people love them so much that it kind of bums them out when it gets colder and most communities stop having them. So the fact they're going to continue theirs indoors. So that's amazing to hear. Now, I also enjoy driving through the communities. And of course, being in real estate, I'm through a lot of different neighborhoods, but seeing the trees change in some of these beautiful neighborhoods, that's something else you can do. I think they call it, I had never heard this before, but they call it leaf peeping. Again, I don't know, maybe I've just been under a rock or something, but I've never heard them call that. But you go out and you drive around and you can see the leaves changing in the different areas. But so pretty and so beautiful here in the Columbus area in the fall. So whether you're walking your dog through the park, you're cheering on those Buckeyes on a Saturday, or you're picking pumpkins with the family, fall in Columbus, Ohio is truly something special, and I think you'd really love it. So if you are thinking about moving here, or you just want to know what life's like in Central Ohio, make sure to subscribe to our page for more tips on living in and moving to Columbus. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.